What the heck is going on, gangsters? Today we are playing Sin City Greninjas. That is Sin City Giratinas. That is right. Sin City Greninjas is wrong. And he has the name of one of the Pokemon on my team. So we're going to see which Giratinas are better. He's also got a really good matchup against me, in my opinion. So he's got a very scary team. I'm very, very worried about the Alolan Ninetales, to be honest. Like, to me, the most scary thing on his team is Alolan Ninetales. I know he's got that Mawile staring me down, and that can definitely get some big kills or something, but gotta figure out how to beat that in Alolan Ninetales. And just to look at the team real fast, we have a Tailwind, Colbur Berry, and just attacks Giratina. We have a Nidoqueen with Sucker Punch in case he gets like a Dragon Dance up with Speedy Boy Salamence. And then we've got a Dual Attacks Zapdos, Stealth Rocking Piloswine, Swords Dancing Scizor, and Ipapa-ing Rotom. So here we go. First things first, I need to figure out how... well, he doesn't have Arcanine, which is very, very good, which means if I weaken Blastoise, Scizor will definitely sweep the rest of his team. Picking lead is very difficult because if he leads Ninetales, I would want to lead Scizor, but I don't really want to lead Scizor because he's like kind of my end game way. I don't want to lead Zapdos. I don't want to lead Nidoqueen or Giratina. Like, I feel like I want to go Piloswine just by nature of Stealth Rocks and other things. The other thing I would lead is Rotom. And good thing about Rotom is it can Hydro Pump on Gliscor or Volt Switch out on anything else. So I think I'm going to lead Rotom because I get the Volt Switch initiative. So it leads Nihilego. Not a problem. He could definitely Grass Knot. Grass Knot's not the biggest problem. Rotom is very helpful against his team. Helps give an extra check against the Ninetales. Could go Giratina because Giratina just does pretty well against his team, especially if I can get the Tailwind. So if I go Giratina on like a Sludge Wave or something, I think what I want to do is Volt Switch. Just Volt Switch for initiative here. And he does go Ninetales, which is really, really good for me because this gives me initiative into my Scizor. And that forces him out to Bullet Punch, which means that I can U-turn to... because he will absolutely die to Bullet Punch, so he has to go into Blastoise or Salamence or Gliscor maybe, so I'm just going to U-turn, and if he's really bold and stays in, then so be it. So goes Mawile, which means I get to go... I have choices. I kind of just want to go into Nidoqueen and Ice Beam maybe. I could go into Giratina and Earth Power. I want to see how much Earth Power will do to a Mawile. So Giratina will always outspeed this Mawile. If he goes for Sucker Punch, I have a Colbur Berry. Oh, I was about to say 15 damage. Like, that does nothing. Okay, what I think I want to do is go Rotom and just send off a Will-O-Wisp then. Because I will outspeed him. And as long as this Will-O-Wisp hits, then he's letting his one of his biggest threats get Will-O-Wisped, and honestly nothing on his team wants it. So very good, we hit it. Swords Dances, a little bit of a problem, but not like the biggest problem ever. Kind of want to keep Rotom healthy, but I also can just Hidden Power Fire this. I could go Hidden Power Fire into, or I can Volt Switch out into Scizor. Let me check what a Rotom will do against this. a Rotom Volt Switch will do like 50, and then Scizor can Bullet Punch. Hydro Pump will kill. If it doesn't miss. Hydro Pump will kill if it doesn't miss. Very, very, very nice. Okay, now Hydro Pump will kill. But do I want to do that? How much would HP Fire have done? HP Fire wouldn't have done enough. With Burn, it'll do 12%. Please hit Pump. The Ipapa. Okay, so that's very bulky boy, and actually doesn't die because of Berry. So could play rough this turn. So I feel like I want to predict him to not sucker. Rotom is helpful in this matchup against Gliscor and Blastoise and everything. I could predict him to it's a 50-50, because if he sucker punches, I kill and he dies. If he goes for something like Play Rough, then Scizor would be my play, but if he predicts that and goes Fire Fang, Scizor will die, and Scizor is helpful in this matchup. If I lose Rotom, is it the worst thing in the world? Not the worst thing ever, but I really would prefer having Rotom around. I think I'm going to predict him to predict me to switch out, so I'm going to stay out in Hidden Power Fire. Very cool. So, that was a 50-50. I predicted him to Sucker Punch, so I wanted to just stay out and attack. I was thinking about just staying out and Will-O-Wisping possibly, but that leaves us in a fairly good situation because Rotom has a decent amount of health. I did get rid of Pain Split on Rotom for HP Fire, which would be helpful against the ice types. I don't know why he would go Blastoise right now. He might be Scarf Blastoise or something, but I'm just gonna Volt Switch out. Like, that does a lot. So Blastoise means free Giratina for me. Maybe Toxic. Goes for Scald. I'm gonna go for Tailwind, predicting him to go into his Ninetales, and decides to stay in. Volt Switch didn't do very much. I think this is a Assault Vest, maybe. Yeah. Let me go Rotom, and then Volt Switch out on it again. And then I can Volt Switch into Zapdos, because like an Assault Vest Blastoise, like even if he like Ice Beams on me, like it won't do that much, you know? So the reason I went for Tailwind is I thought he would go into Ninetales, and I wanted to have the Iron Head initiative on it. So I Tailwinded hoping he would switch out in the Ninetales, but decides just to go for damage. I should have gone for damage, I guess, just in case. I think I just stay out in Hydro Pump on Gliscor. He's probably faster than me. He might go Facade. I could go Zapdos. Zapdos is helpful in checking Salamence and Blastoise later. Rotom doesn't have a lot of usefulness now, due to the speed tiers of everything on his team. I think I'm going to stay out in Hydro Pump. And he sacks, and he just sacks Gliscor. Oh, we had Tailwind, I totally forgot, which is super useful actually. So I will Volt Switch, and he might Freeze Dry right here, which is fine because, again, that gives me Switch Initiative. And if he goes into... I have to go Scizor now. If he goes Blastoise on this. That's okay with me, but I'm just gonna Bullet Punch. Because, yeah, he might stay in, predicting me to U-turn out again, and I can't handle that, but I can safely switch into Zapdos if he did go into Blastoise. So that's not the biggest problem for me. So Salamence comes out. Salamence checked by Piloswine's Ice Shard. I never got rocks up or anything. Like, nobody got any hazards up. I was worried about Hypnosis on Ninetales, to be honest. Let's see. I can stay out and Bullet Punch in the case that he... So my fear is that he's Fire Blast, but if he's Fire Blast, is it the biggest problem? I have lots of priority. I think I can play to save differential. He's probably Yachi, though, thinking about it. He's Moxie. I think he's like Scarf Fire Blast. I can go straight Piloswine. I'm gonna go straight Piloswine. He does go straight for Dragon Dance. I should live one, and even if he's like Yachi Berry, like, yeah, like, I can eat an Earthquake easy. Like, that does no damage to me. So I can go Ice Shard again. No problem. Goes Blastoise. That gives me a free Zapdos. If he double switches into Nihilego, it would be a good play. But Nihilego checked by Bullet Punch, so Zapdos out here free. Go free Discharge. And it's looking good. As long as I don't do anything super stupid, we should have a pretty solid win here. Blastoise, no para. Let's go Discharge again. If he goes Nihilego, where do we go? I can sack the Zapdos. Nidoqueen eats anything Nihilego does. We eat those. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Ice Beam on the Salamence switch? Question mark. Ice Beam on the Salamence switch. And then Earth Power on the Nihilego to secure a 5-0, assuming this doesn't have like Psychic or something. Such a wave. Yep. GG, Pat. Well played. Pretty solid. I was a little bit worried about the Ninetales running Hypnosis or something, but everything pretty much went exactly how I was hoping it to. A little bit of things that like I didn't expect. I was kind of expecting Arcanine, and I was a bit afraid of that, but I was the game plan was just to try to take down the Blastoise and then put it in a situation where Scizor could really do the damage. And like one of the pivotal plays was making sure I Bullet Punched on that Ninetales while he stayed in, because even if you went Blastoise isn't a huge offensive threat to my team, so I can like switch around that and I can deal with that. Like, I could even switch into Nidoqueen to eat a hit from Blastoise, so. But honestly, Zapdos had Blastoise on lock there, even with the Ice Beams, so I was like, because of that, I need to just Bullet Punch with Scizor. That's like safe play that allows me to always win. If I U-turned and stuff and like he put something asleep, you never know what could happen. So, didn't want to lose anything, but Scizor was really kind of the linchpin for that match because that was like his biggest problem. So anyway, thank you for watching, and I hope you all have a freaking wonderful day. Peace out, gamer.